Hello and welcome to Your Golf Channel. I'm your resident PGA coach, Jed Walters. Today's lesson is all about how we create the basics of the golf swing. Let's go dive in. Okay, so to develop our golf swing, we need to look at three key areas. We've got the roll of the body and its rotation. We've got how the pressure of the body or the weight moves around, and then the role that the hands and the arms have moving the golf club. So number one, let's look at the rotation of the body. If we think about the rotation first of all from this upright natural position, okay, so if I'm facing you here, I've got a long iron, I've got a 3-iron here, and I'm just going to place it just across the top there. I'm just going to pinch it just across the top of the shoulders. So if we think about our rotation, we want to try and keep fairly stable, so we don't want to be sort of swaying a lot as we make this movement. We want to think of it more as a turn. So if my shoulders and hips turn, you can see here now I've got the club itself, so the club head pointing directly towards you. So if we think here, I draw a line straight down the center of my body, and I do that again, you can see how, well, I've stayed pretty central, but this golf club is to the right hand side of that line, so it's more towards my right foot now. Now what I want to do is make a rotation back the other way, so let's rotate the body back this way. Now as we rotate it back this way, one of the key things that a lot of beginners do is maintain the pressure too much on this trail side. So you can notice what we want to do here now is, rather than keep that there, we want to allow that rotation to continue and allow the right foot, or trail foot for me, just to keep moving all the way round through to finish. So I'm now stood really tall onto my lead leg, my left leg. So again, we feel that rotation here, and then that rotation back here, and allow the right foot to move up and around. So let's start off with 15 or 20 of these movements so we get used to how we want the body to rotate. So once we've got that idea, we want to try and take that idea to golf posture, because we don't play golf stood up this way. We play golf in a more tilted format, so we're going to tilt slightly from the waist, from the hips. Now from this point here, as we make that movement, we want to feel that same rotation, but now this time the golf club, the club head, which is pointing towards the camera there, I'm going to turn down to point more towards the ground. So I've still got that same feeling, but I'm now doing it from this tilted angle. Now what we want to do is go back the other way. So now it's the grip end which is pointing down towards the ground. Now notice that I've not gone up into this more upright position yet, because we don't want to create that just yet from this tilted position. So again, from the tilted position forward, so you can see it from here, I've got the rotation, so you can see how the club head then is just to the right hand side from my perspective of that line there down the center of my body, and then I'm going to go back the other way, and I'm just going to get the feeling of making that rotation back and through from this tilted angle. And once we've got maybe again 15 to 20 of these in, let's add 15 or 20 with that upward motion. So we can see there we are back in here, we turn back the other way, and now we're going to move up and into that finish. So this is the natural idea, a natural feeling that we'd see from our golf swing. So once we've got that feeling of the rotation, we need to then start thinking about the next piece of the puzzle, how we shift the weight. When we think about shifting the weight and the pressure, we want to do it and also try and incorporate that rotational feeling that we've just had. So again, if I was to place the club back up here again and just pinch it against the top of my shoulders there with my fingers, if we look at it again from this upright feeling, if we imagine I'm now going to start with my feet together here, and as I start to get that rotational feeling, so as the shoulders and the hips start to turn, I'm going to take a step to my left. So I'm stepping towards the target effectively. And what happens there is it gets the feeling that I am shifting the body's pressure, the body's weight back towards the target. Now, getting this feeling is crucial because a lot of beginner golfers are back here, and then when they hit the golf ball there's a lot of pressure that stays back on this trail side. So getting used to the feeling as we develop the real motion that we want. If we go here, that's a bit too late, so we go a lot of it here and then step, or here and then step as you try and move this way. So the key to it is getting the feeling that as you start turning away from what your target would be, you step at the same time. It's getting that feeling there. And then we can gain 15 to 20 reps of this, and then we can add the feeling then of there and back the other way. So then we'll add in the extra piece of the puzzle then with that downswing feeling. So step and turn. And again, if we can then get that feeling from our tilted forward angle, so staying forward, so we've got step, and then that will be the turn added on to the end of it. Step, turn added on to the end of it. So we're starting to see the basic movement, not just how the rotation happens, but how the body's pressure and body's weight shifts in towards the target, especially as we're making that downswing movement. The final piece of our puzzle is to add the role of the arms, the hands and the golf club. And you can see here I have got an aeroplane attached to the golf club here, just to give you a visual of how we want them to work. So how the sort of upward feeling and idea is created. So if I go this way, as if I was going to hit the shot in towards the back of the range here, then what we want to try and do is get the feeling that the arms and hands are working not just around with our rotation, but they also have a vertical element to them as well. So if we look here, the task would be to get the plane to sit on the horizon, maybe with the left wing tip down a little bit this way. Okay? What we don't want to do is feel like the plane is moving around this way, because that's going to give us too much rounded movement and not enough elevation. So we want to feel that we put the plane on the horizon, maybe a little bit left wing tip down, and then from here we're going to fly the plane up over the trail shoulder as we make our body rotation. From that point there, as we then turn back towards our target, we're going to put the plane back on the horizon. Then we can see there's a little hammer idea here on the front, on the nose of the plane, which we are going to then hammer into the golf ball. Then as we continue our rotation, we're going to put the plane back on the horizon, and then we're going to fly up and into the finish. So if we look at that then from down our target line view, if I was just to bring a golf ball over here. So we have our setup position. We are going to move the club with the arms, put the plane on the horizon, see the wing tip down a little bit towards the camera, fly up over the shoulder. As we get our rotation, you can see that nice stable rotation to the top. Then in the downswing, we've got that little shift of the pressure as we turn back towards the target, and we put the plane back on the horizon. Then we keep turning as we hammer into impact, and that rotation continues then around as we put the plane on the horizon and then up over the lead shoulder and into the finish. So we have the idea then of our rotation with a weight shift, and the club moving up and around that feeling. You can create this idea, you can almost get maybe the folding piece of a cardboard box and just tape it onto the shaft, so you've got a winged effect, and just get that feeling of how you can see the club moving up and around down and around, up and around as you make your rotations. Putting all three pieces of the puzzle together is really important from a very, very early stage so that we can get the club moving around in the right way and you start to hit some really good shots and hit them towards target as well. Thanks for watching today's lesson. I hope you've really enjoyed it. Post your comments in the box below. Let me know what your thoughts were. As always, don't forget to click the little thumb. Let me know that you're enjoying the content. If you haven't subscribed already to Your Golf channel, then please do so by just clicking the subscribe link just down there below. While you're there, why not click the little bell notification as well so you get notified every time Your Golf channel posts a new lesson video. Thanks again for watching and I look forward to seeing you again in the next lesson.